Hey there YouTube, welcome back to another black powder update. Today I have completed my next unit of Brunswickers. Now these guys are the Avantgarde, and I'll bring you in a second and give you a closer look at them. These guys are made up of a box of elite miniatures. I always have the site up in my browser on my tablet, and I was kind of scrolling through my tabs to get to the St. Jerome site, whatever it's called, and I actually clicked on the Elite Miniature site, and I saw that they did Brunswickers, and I thought, hey, I didn't even completely forgotten that they did them. So I went and had a look, and I kind of was tempted to give them a go. So I ended up getting my Avantgarde from them, and I actually also ended up getting a unit of light infantry from them too, which I'm actually waiting to arrive. Hopefully they should come today. Anyway, back to these guys. Now I did get in a Perry's Command to bolster up the officers, because if you've watched a lot of my videos, especially when I was doing my Imperial Guard division, I'm not always a great fan of the officer figures that come with Elite Miniatures. Quite often they're in really quite wacky positions, and I'm very, as you know, I'm very picky with my officer figures, and if I don't like a particular figure, then I just won't use him. I'll come across an alternative. Now, although I wouldn't say that the officer figure in this particular battalion was to the point where I just wouldn't use them, again, I wasn't happy enough to use more than one of them, and you always get a duplicate. So that's sort of basically the two of probably the most thumbs down thing about Elite Miniatures in total overall of the entire sort of the entirety of a box of their figures. Now, competitively, they're very competitively priced, which is a big bonus, and I also quite like the fact that the Avantgarde actually came with the mixture of the Jaegers and the line infantry. So I think these guys were listed a little bit over £30 for 30 figures, including a mounted officer as well. Now I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use the mounted officer, because theoretically these guys are in a brigade on their own, and they don't even have a brigade commander. So I guess you have to kind of attach them, but I probably will use the guy on a command stand, I think, as a sort of an alternate officer. Okay, so let's give you a closer look at these guys. Now, like I say, if you look at the sort of order of battle, it said that these guys were in 4 companies. And I think their total was 635 men. So I'd actually already kind of decided to do them in my normal sort of battalion style of 24. But on sort of at one particular point, I thought, well, why don't I just stick them onto 60 by 60s or 60 by 40s, and or no, 60 by 60, sorry, and have 4 units of 6. And that would basically give me the 4 units. And then I thought, well, no, that's going to kind of split the command squads up and make them look a bit wacky. So in the end, I decided to just stick with my normal 40 by 40s and do 3 companies of each, instead of the straight up 4 companies like they would be historically. So as you can see, I've split them up into 3 and 3. The light infantry have got a pseudonym command made up of the Elite Miniatures officer and a bugler, and the Jaegers have got a full command because I brought the Perry's Command box. Now, it did cross my mind to get the equivalent of light infantry for these guys from Perry's too, but then I thought, well, no, I've got like a unit of 30 of them. I'm only using like 18 of them, or maybe even less actually. No, 18 of them, yeah, because there's 6. and that's going to leave me a whole bunch of guys I'm not really going to have any use for, because it's, you know, you can't really there are no more battalions of these guys, so you're kind of sort of stumped really. Now, something that I could theoretically do with the leftover figures is that I could make a little sort of independent little section of riflemen. I think I've got 8 of them left, so I could make like a little skirmishing unit of 8 guys that could kind of just be like a little extra bit of flavour you could add to a battle, which is something that I could theoretically do in the future. I'm probably not going to do it for now. It's kind of something that I might, you know, perhaps do much later on. And you know, again, I theoretically in the future I could, you know, get a Perry. If it really bugs me that much, I could get a Perry's command in and swap out the command for a proper command. So yeah, that's the sort of situation of the splitting up of the bases. We'll start off with light infantry. These guys are kind of in a sort of an advancing position, as you can see. Apart from the Austrian style hat, these guys are more or less in the same uniform as light infantry, but they do have the coloured cuffs as a sort of an extra compared to the light infantry that has they're obviously all black. Really nice figures. As I know from experience, they scale really well with front rank and Perrys. So that is the first stand of the light infantry. You can see the badge is a horn. Then we go for the pseudonym command. So as you can see, we have the elite officer's miniature, the elite miniatures officer, with his slightly odd sword. Now I'm not sure if that's like an actual casting error, perhaps a sword kind of slightly cut short. Excuse me. But I'm pretty sure the other officer was exactly the same. So yeah, a little bit of odd sword, a little bit of an odd position. The bugler is Perry's, because you get 2 buglers. Now this guy's actually a Jaeger bugler, but I decided to use him because I like his position. Theoretically, I kind of forgot about it actually, that I did actually have a cracked bugler in with my leftover figures, but in the end I decided to use this guy, and I couldn't be bothered to start again and paint another figure up, so I just left him. Apart from the fact he's got a bedroll, you can hardly tell the difference between him and a normal light infantry guy. So that is the command squad, the pseudonym command squad for the lights. And then we have the third stand. Now you can see for basing these guys, I used my forest basing material, which is really good. It looks like they're sort of walking through a forest. I tend to use this basing a lot on like riflemen and stuff like that, and obviously the Hanoverian Jaegers I used it on, just to kind of differentiate them, I suppose. So that is the light infantry. Now we'll move on to the Jaegers, or the riflemen. So we'll start off, here we have a stand of all 4 of the elite miniatures guys. Really nice figures. A little bit fugly faces here and there. I did actually trim the moustaches off of a fair few of these guys to make them look different. But overall, really nice position, kind of running or advancing still. The rifles are they're not Baker rifles; they're actually kind of they're you know, from their own country. So probably, German rifles, Prussian rifles, just probably like civilianized hunting rifles, most of them probably. But yeah, really nice uniform, kind of grey. Did take me a little bit of experimentation to nail a uniform colour that I really thought matched the picture. I ended up using charcoal black C, I think, for the base colour of the uniform. I then highlighted that with black ink, not highlighted, but I gave it a shade of black ink, you know, Nullen oil, and then I re-highlighted it back up with neutral grey, and it seemed to work really well. And for their bedrolls, which were actually darker, I used the base colour of charcoal black B, and then highlighted that up with C. So that worked out really well. The only other thing that I kind of experimented with was the green. Now, the original green that I used, which did actually match up quite well with the artwork, was Wild Flash, a sister colour that I had laying around. And actually, it was actually a new part. I hadn't opened it. I can't remember how I got it. I think I got it once because I was going to be painting some orcs. But obviously I ended up never using it. When I painted it on, it looked really good. But as it dried, it kind of went like really dull. Like it completely muted itself out. And with all the sort of the black and the dark greys, it kind of almost disappeared. And I felt like, you know, although it's got to be, you know, quite a muted green, it was too mute. It was almost blending in with the black. So I decided to use, in the end, deep green, which is here, and it actually looks a lot lighter than it does when it's actually on the figure. But it still gives you that the muted down green that matches the artwork, but also is still got a little bit of vibrancy, so that you can actually tell the green is there. So I was really chuffed with finding that particular colour, and I think I've actually used it a fair bit. I think I've mixed it in with my my rifleman's uniforms and my dragoons uniforms too, with the French. But yeah, that's basically what I did for painting these guys. So that is the normal stand rifleman. Then we have the NCO stand on the opposite side. Again, 3 riflemen, mixed in a corporal as well. And then we have the Perry Sergeant. Now, one particular thing about this particular sergeant is that this guy is just a little bit shorter than the others. He's actually quite short even compared to some of the other Perrys. So this guy's obviously a little bit of a on the smaller side. But you know what they say, it's always the smaller guys that are the hard nuts, and this guy is, you know, he obviously uses his smaller stature to dart in and out of the forests better when he's skirmishing. But yeah, you can see he's along with 3 other guys. Really nice figures actually. You could sort of say, well, it's kind of boring with them all being in the same position. And they've all basically got the same faces, but obviously, like I say, I trimmed the moustaches off, and they actually were really quite enjoyable to paint. I got through these guys pretty fast actually. I was doing 6 a day, and I basically did them in 4 days. Here we have the command stand. Now these guys, like I say, because I brought in the Perry Jeger Command, I've got a full command squad. Now, obviously they haven't got a flag bearer, so I chucked in a normal guy as a sergeant. And we have the bugler, we have the secondary officer here, the junior officer, and then we have the Major von Rauschenplatte himself. This more slightly regal looking officer, about to draw his sabre. So that is the end of this particular video. So I hope you enjoyed it. I really did enjoy painting these guys up. Next up on the books is the next 2 light infantry units. I'm actually awaiting another box of elite miniatures, this time normal light infantry, and I'm going to mix those up with my leftover front rank, so that will give me enough figures to actually complete, along with obviously 2 Perry's Command, enough to actually finish my next 2 battalions, which will be the 2nd and the 3rd light, and I'm doing really well on these guys, actually. It's surprising me just how quickly I'm getting through these guys. Now this is, I think, the 4th battalion that I've done so far, and there's basically 8 battalions, 2 cavalry units and 2 batteries of cannon. So this marks the kind of over the halfway point, and by the time I finish the 2 light infantry units, I'll only be left with like 1 infantry unit to do, the lancers and the 2 cannon batteries, and obviously a couple of command. And of course at the very end, I'm going to get the Duke of Brunswick in, who will kind of command the entire army at the very end. So that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel and you liked the content, please consider subscribing. It's all free in the end anyway. And if you do wish to be noted, have notifications when I put new videos up, roughly once a week. I try to get once a week. Sometimes it's once every 2 weeks. And obviously sometimes life gets in the way, and it might possibly be one every 3 weeks, but certainly on average it's one just about every week. Sometimes it goes a little bit late. I am having to I've got a lot of sort of hospital and doctor's appointments at the moment, and it's kind of cutting into my painting schedule a little bit, but generally I reckon it still probably takes me like around about a week to do a battalion. Just depends on when I actually start them. I generally try and take a day or two's rest between finishing units, which sometimes can kind of make me finish units at odd times of the week, so I might wait until like the weekend to actually do a video or whatever, or publish a video. But yeah, that's the end. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. So until then, bye bye.